your air candy with K&K. The music never sleeps. Get ready for your sugar high with coffee and candy.
All right, Cisco Kennedy in the studio, one half of Coffee and Candy. And as I am recording this episode, my partner Johnny, JC, is actually on the West Coast right now in Vegas for EDC weekend. Let's try to bring him up to the Bluetooth call.
Hello.
JC, how we doing?
Doing great. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning. How we feeling out there?
Good. Feeling great, my friend. Speaking to you live from Las Vegas, EDC weekend. Today's day 3, my good man.
Yes.
It's a great time out here.
I am sad that I am not out there with you, but I'm over here at the home front taking care of business. But please tell the audience, how is the weather first and foremost in Vegas?
Well, let me tell you, this is a particularly hot year. It's spring here in Vegas, just like it is back in the Northeast, but the temperatures exceed 90 degrees on a daily basis here. So it's really hot. It was almost 100 the other day. I've been here since Wednesday, which I think was the 16th or the 17th of May. And let me tell you, the strip is hot, but not just in temperature, my friend. This strip is equally hot in activity. There is so much going on here. It's unbelievable.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing. I mean, this is considered EDC week. So even though the Electric Daisy Carnival event takes place at night and throughout the night, Friday through Sunday, EDC week events kicked off on Wednesday. There are pool parties at all of the major hotel and resorts for folks that have never been out here to Las Vegas. Las Vegas Boulevard is the strip, and it's lined with large resort-style casinos. Notable places include the Cosmopolitan, where I'm staying, which has the Marquee day club and nightclub. You've got the Venetian Palazzo property, which has Tau Beach, that's their day club, or the Tau nightclub. You have the new property, Resorts World, which has the Zouk nightclub, and the, I think they call it the AO day club. There's the MGM. People have known that for years, that hotel and resort property. Not so popular these days, but still around. And in terms of day party activities, they have an outdoor pool club, which is called Wet Republic. And of course, there are many, many more. Many of the EDC DJs have obviously flown in from their homes of origin throughout the United States, but many more from abroad, and they've been booked. They're booked to play not just at EDC, but they're booked to play in the nightclubs, and they're booked to play in the day clubs. And classic example is our friend Afrojack. Let's see, today's Sunday, so Friday night, Afrojack played at a club at the MGM called Hakkasan. Yesterday afternoon, Afrojack played at the pool or day club Marquee at my hotel. I had a chance to see that. And then late last night, or shall I say early morning today, 4:15 a.m., I think was his sunrise closing set for the EDC Day 2. So
wow.
Afrojack undoubtedly was a busy man, but the list goes on. And there are many more DJs that are doing the same thing. I've run into a lot of folks here on the strip and coming in and out of the festival through the transportation port. I ran into Alesso the other day. He was at the Encore Casino. He's playing at the Tau Beach. Ran into last night Fisher, Martin Garrix, Cascade, all Charmy, all very approachable guys, all excited to be here this weekend, many of whom have been double and triple booked in terms of events that they're playing, whether it be out at EDC or whether it be at the day club, nightclub events I ran into David Guetta on a Friday night, or shall I say early Saturday morning, after his set, completely spent and exhausted. As you know, he's trotting the globe with so many things going on this summer. He's got a residence in Spain at Ibiza. He does his normal tour. He has residencies here. So who knows what he's up to. But there's so many people out here, and everybody's having an amazing time. And then, of course, there are the fans. EDC, I think, locked in, more than 400,000 attendees. It is the 30th anniversary of that Insomniac-sponsored event. And let me tell you, the crowds are out in masses this year, just as they were last, and the year before that, and as far back as I can remember.
Yeah. So, since I've never been, and you have been so many times, paint the picture. Exactly where does all this take place? The concerts,
all right,
the fans. Where's the room for all these people?
Well, Las Vegas is a destination city in this country, without a doubt. And what Las Vegas is really known for, not just the gambling, but it's a convention town. So tons of trades groups and corporate groups and different types of professional organizations that exist throughout the country and throughout the world often have conferences here and conventions here. And because the Strip is lined with so many hotel resorts, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of hotel rooms available. So my guess is that the majority of folks who are going to EDC are staying somewhere on the Strip. That said, EDC does have a camp available. So people with an RV or a large vehicle that want to be able to camp out throughout the weekend, on the campus of EDC, that's available. And I know that there's also the opportunity to rent tents or pods that have individual air conditioning units. There's sort of like a little camp city, if you will, right outside of the Las Vegas NASDAQ Speedway, which is 17 miles away from the Strip. And that's exactly where EDC takes place. So lots of lodging options for people. And those are just some of them, if that helps you.
Yeah.
EDC week, as I said, kicked off on Wednesday, but the actual event, EDC, didn't start up until Friday. I don't remember what time the doors opened because I don't go there for the beginning. I try to avoid the crowds, but, figure like around 5 or 6 p.m. the doors opened, and the event goes right until, 5 a.m. the next morning. I try to arrive around 10:30 myself, which is kind of like in the middle of everything. I stay till around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I get out. My experience is tailored to, target some of my favorite DJs, but also avoid some of the crowds. Last night, on our way back, we had an Uber driver take us from the airport from which we go to EDC back to our hotel, and he had said to us, it's a good thing you flew out there because cabs don't want to drive out there. And he indicated that he had a client who hired him yesterday to take him to EDC. And after spending 1 hour and 40 minutes in the vehicle, still not having reached that 17-mile destination, the client threw in the towel and told the driver to turn back. So, I'm a little spoiled. I'll admit that. I fly there. There's a helicopter service that takes you directly from the Strip to EDC. It's a 10 to 15 minute flight. It's expensive, but it also adds to the experience, and that's how I'm able to interact and encounter a lot of the artists because they're all flying from the same location.
Yeah. Well, with all the years of experience, like you figured out kind of the best way to attack this thing. So, more power to you. Shit.
Exactly. Because, it can be a pain in the ass going out there. My sister-in-law, on the other hand, she rented a vehicle. She likes the freedom and flexibility to drive. And much to her, because last night, maybe 15 or 20 minutes into Zed's set, my wife and I had to take off because we had to, meet our departure time at the helipad, whereas my sister-in-law probably stuck it out, right until, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So that's that. And, when you get to the Las Vegas Speedway, if you can just imagine a giant NASCAR track You've got to you enter from the stands like any of the fans that would be going to watch the race, and then you have to walk down into the center, and the entire EDC event is just set up. There are multiple stages. There are amusement park rides that have been brought in. There are lights everywhere. There are retail pop-up shops selling, Insomniac or EDC merchandise. There's plenty of food and drink vendors. And lots of other little attractions. There's art displays. They have lectures, talk groups. There's places to sleep, get a massage, and the list really goes on and on. There's so much that has to offer.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, the event is going on for 12 hours each day, and throughout all that time, all of the folks who are in attendance are going to have different wants and needs. The key is the music, right? Everybody's there to have a good time. There's no violence. There's no fights. No one has an attitude. Everyone is dressed in some sort of costume or neat outfit, and it's a very, very welcoming, open environment. And everyone's there for one thing, for the music, and really nothing more. The experience it's tough to put into words. I mean, when you first go to one of these events, and your senses are overwhelmed, right, by sounds and sight, the people, the lights, the attractions, the music. It's incredible. So each day there's a set list, and it publishes the DJs, who's going to play and what stage they're going to be at. So, the key is to pop around and to get a little feel of everybody and everything that's happening, or at least as much as you possibly can. So, day one when we arrived, I got to see Fisher perform. I saw David Guetta's set. I saw Alice in Wonderland, I should say, who, by the way, is 9 months pregnant, and she made that known at the beginning of her set. And there were some others. I just can't remember, because as you're moving through, you see so many things happening at once.
Sure. Last
night is fresher in my memory. So last night I had a chance to see Dom Dalla. I saw Dom Bresky, Boris Brescia, all of Tiesto's set, and I saw a portion of Zed's set, which did seem different than what Zed played back at Ultra back in March. And you remember from the news coverage that Zed's thumb drive wasn't working at Ultra, so he had to scramble to download tracks and put together his set very quickly. Last night was different, so my guess is that what he was intending for the festival season, he got a chance to play. It still had, all of his great commercial tracks built in, but also some new mixes and some new stuff. So in any event, I thought I'd share that with you.
Yeah, like you had mentioned,
in terms of
like Dom Dalla, do you recall hearing a new song with Nelly Furtado? I think I had seen something online this week. He was teasing this little clip in the studio, him and Nelly Furtado, and they had a song coming out soon. So I figured, well, what's a better place than to drop it at, EDC? I didn't know if maybe you caught her vocals or maybe not. No, that didn't happen. No, he was playing at a stage called the Circuit Grounds, and there had to be close to 100,000 people there. Yeah. So and here's my criticism at EDC. The stages surrounds the speedway, so you have to get up really close to the stage that you want to hear in order to pick up on nuances like certain vocals and stuff, and we weren't unable at the Circuit Ground stage to get that close. So I'm first of all, I don't know the track that he might be teasing or is about to release, so I wouldn't have recognized it, but I did not hear him play anything that caught my attention with any particular vocals. I was just sort of happy for the guy, and the fact that he's new on scene. He doesn't have the history of a Tiesto or a David Guetta, and he was on one of the main stages. And hats off to James Hype, who is also playing on some of the main stages. James Hype was playing each and every day of the entire festival, which is really great. Yeah, he's
on different. He's on different stages.
He's hot right now.
Need to take a quick break. Can you give me 1 second?
Sure.
You're tuned in with Coffee and Candy.
I'm back. I don't remember where we left off, but we were talking about Dom Dalla, the stage. It's the key is positioning. Last night I was very blessed. in the particular area where we watch the show, we get VIP wristbands. So they have certain areas where you can get up close. And we were right at the gate at the base of the stage of the Kinetic field stage. That's kind of like one of their main stages. Mm-hmm. So we were super close for Tiesto set, Boris Brejcha, and Zed. And, like the pyrotechnics and the fire were like within reaching distance from where we were standing.
I seen, because like some of the footage that you had sent me, I had seen how close you were to those. And I said, that must be hot. Like, he must be feeling that as that is going off.
Listen, you can feel the heat when you are, in the nosebleed section.
Oh, shit.
To have that flame just a few feet away, it was really hot and super bright, by the way. But it all added to the sensory experience of what is EDC or, any major music festival,
It's like a question I had is how you saying there's all different stages happening simultaneously. Does the sound bleed from like stage to stage? Like when you're trying to focus on who's in front of you at this stage, like can you hear like the ricochet or the echoing from the other stage, and you're like, what the fuck? I can't really hear this the way I want to experience because I'm getting all the backlash from the other stages going off right now.
Not when you get to the stage that you want to be at and you're close enough and you get up and you focus in, because the speakers for any particular stage are not just coming from the stage. So, for example, if you saw the footage that I sent last night and you saw me that I was down on the gate, they have some major subwoofer setups right there at the base, and then they also have their mid ranges and their highs that are positioned on the stage. But if you step back from the Kinetic Field main stage and you go back, say 100 feet, 150, 200 feet, they have other speakers so that the sound sort of reaches everybody. I'll try to capture some of that footage for you tonight so you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you get closer to the stage that you want to see, you don't really experience that bleed. However, walking from stage to stage, you do hear a lot of it. And I actually find it, it sounds terrible, actually. My friends and I last night, we started talking about that. If you think of a NASDAQ track as like a big oval, and all of the stages and the presentations are on the exterior of that, you've got to walk down the middle of the oval to get from stage to stage. And you can hear a lot of it for sure, because a lot of the stages are pointed inward toward the middle of the oval. There are only a couple of stages that are pointed outward. So you do get a lot of that bleed as you're sort of migrating from stage to stage within the track itself. Yeah,
interesting. So today is day 3.
Today's day 3. Same plan. Going to go around 10:30. Come back around 2:30 in the morning. I know Martin Garrix is. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention I saw a little bit of a Marshmello set as well. Martin Garrix is going to play today. Armin van Buuren is going to play today. I'm definitely going to see both of them. I don't remember who else is there, but I'm sure there'll be others that I'll catch.
Is there someone who is going to close the whole thing out?
I'm glad you asked that question. Yes, our friend Cascade is going to close the whole thing out. He played a set today. He's at a day party. He's playing at the Resort World's AO Day Club. Last night he played in the Circuit Ground set. I didn't get a chance to see him, and I'll explain that in a minute. He played a set on his own, and then tonight he'll close out the festival with what they call his Redux set. So it's Cascade Redux, which I think is really committed to a lot of his classics.
Yeah.
So so that's what's going to close out.
Sweet, good show.
Cascade's set last night overlapped with Tiesto, so I obviously couldn't see both of them. I had hopes to initially, but once I had the really good vantage point from which to see the Tiesto set, I would have had to make my way out of that section fighting masses of crowds to get to the opposite end, think the Oval again. Cascade was playing at a stage called Circuit Grounds. Tiesto is at another one called Kinetic Field. These are sort of like the main stages, if you will, of EDC, the larger stages. And they're at opposite ends. So, with crowd and folks, it could easily take, 20 to 30 minutes to navigate from one end to the other. I mean, there are just so many people. So it's not a quick little walk from one to the next.
Yeah. And I can imagine some of those super diehard fans that are up front in those very, very first rows. They are not leaving. They got there. As soon as it opened it up, they're staying there every hour by hour. They don't give a shit who's coming up. All they know is that I'm here for one reason and one reason only. And I'm here to see, whoever that person is. And they'll go through everyone else's set just to be front right there when it's time for their person. I can imagine.
You know what? Those people do exist. And to be honest with you, I used to be one of them. When I first started going to the festivals, there was always like a little sense of anxiety, arriving, wanting to get through security, get through the gate, fight the crowds, then get to the location of the stage that your artists are playing on, and then find your spot, within that particular area. So there can be a little anxiety associated with that if you're fixated on that sort of approach. And I used to have that approach for a while, but I've noticed about myself, at least over the last couple of years, particularly when we started doing the coffee and candy venture, is that my interest in music has grown to be much broader. And instead of just being interested in seeing like Tiesto, who's iconic and is a big commercial star, I want to see some of the other folks. So I tend to sort of float around now from stage to stage and just sort of take in what I can take in. But getting sort of finding your spot when you get to a particular stage is obviously very important.
Yeah.
So that you can, sort of take it all in, because there's a lot going on. I mean, look, you got a lot of people that are really indulging in substances. Folks are drunk. People are high. Marijuana is legal. There's a lot of that going on. So you have folks that are, really heavily into that, and you kind of want to, at least I do, I want to keep my distance. I don't want to smell it, and I don't want someone throwing up on me. I saw someone vomited in one of the trash cans, 10 inches from me last night, and it just came out of nowhere. So, you got to be careful. Pick your spot wisely so that you can enjoy the set in some level of comfort. But, there's people there with signs and costumes. Folks are there for, purposes of trying to, participate in the mosh pit experience. There's so much going on. I will tell you this, and hopefully folks don't laugh too much at me, but, I told you they have amusement park rides there.
Yeah.
So last night I went on a ride that I never went on as a kid. I went on the ride called the free fall, or the Tower of Terror. They put you in the seat, they raise you up really, really high, and then they just drop you to the ground. Have you ever seen one of those rides?
Of course I have. I've been on a few, like Six Flags and places like that.
Yeah. First time for me last night. Broke my cherry at EDC. So.
And how was that experience? Would you do it again?
I would do it again. The
Okay.
build-up is what's really funny. The build-up, because we're in line, we're talking to this other couple, we inching our way towards the line, and here I am on Google researching the safety of the ride in prior accidents that have occurred. And I don't know if you know this, but in August of 2022, this young poor kid died on one of those at Disney. Apparently they made modifications. Maybe it wasn't Disney, but it was in Orlando. That I know. Let me be careful with my words here on a podcast. It was in Orlando. And the news article said that the proprietor of the ride made some modifications to it that undermined safety, causing the rider to be ejected from the equipment, and that's how the person died. So here I am looking that up. I got all these young kids standing around me, and I'm broadcasting the safety features of the Tower of Terror.
Oh,
but needless to say, it was a great experience. I survived it. It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you did it. I actually have to get ready to go and play a 6-hour set down at Tel Aviv by the waterfront over here in our hometown of Providence, Rhode Island. One last question for you.
Sure.
In the past 2 days, is there any moment where you have been inspired by something and say, this is why I'm here, this is my reason, and I have this fire burning in me now to get back home and, just get like coffee and candy to the next level? Has there been that moment for you yet, this trip?
Yes. And listen, I personally, I come to these festivals to take time away from work and to have a lot of fun, but I don't approach them and let's go and get drunk type of weekend. As you know, I don't even drink. I approach these festivals from an analytical perspective. I'm here to get inspiration. I'm here to get ideas. And that's really what I like to do. So I will tell you right now what the inspiration is for me. As everyone knows, Tiesto played one of our mixes some weeks ago on his podcast. And that mix was our remix of Frida Redding's Weekends.
Weekends, yeah.
Okay. And Tiesto released a new song. I'm trying to look up the name of it as we speak right now. But his new song has a sound and a chords and bass line that are almost identical to the work that we did. And I haven't decided yet how we're going to bring that to Tiesto's attention. but we're going to. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But the bottom line is the fact that he played our song and was inspired by our sounds, which motivated him and his team to do something similar. I found to be, incredibly, inspirational. Okay. To think that, here I am, the lawyer who's been at this for a very short period of time, being mentored by you, who's been doing it for a very, very long time.
20 years.
And how quickly we've made progress and traction together, and that we've been able to, put together some sort of a product that inspired somebody as accomplished as Tiesto. So to me, that was the moment. I heard his track. I can't seem to get a Wi-Fi signal right now in my hotel room, but I heard the song on DJ City the other day. You might remember I brought it to your attention. And now here I am listening to it being played on the main stage. I was, quite shocked myself.
Yeah. Well, I can attest to this from the years of experience, kind of getting my feet wet in this industry. It will not be the last time that this happens, where we put something out that has, a certain sound, and then as the months go on, you hear something very, very similar. This is just part of the game. Everyone is influenced off of each other. And, just to kind of go into this really quickly, it's a testament to the sound, quality that we bring to the table. We are using the same software, the same VSTs, the same software, the same mixing, as these big high-end industry pros are doing. So, we have our eyes set on the target, and we do not intend to miss. So we're coming. We are coming for the charts. That's how I want to end this episode. And I hope you have a great third day in Vegas. Enjoy the show tonight. And I look forward to having you back in the studio this upcoming week so that we can get back into the coffee and candy vibe.
That sounds great. Have a great set today at Tel Aviv. I know Carl Cox will be proud of your marathon set abilities of 6 hours of straight deep house, melodic vocals and house music. So have a great time. I wish I could be there with you. And I'll see you in a couple of days.
All right, John. Take care.
Be good, brother. Take care.
All right, so as always, with every episode, we have our mix show segment, and it's only right, since this is the EDC Vegas episode, that the musical portion reflects that. So these are going to be some of the styles of edits and remixes that you would hear at Electric Daisy Carnival, EDC weekend in Vegas. Here's the mix show.
You're tuned in with Coffee and Candy.
About to catch another flight, yeah. The apple bottom make him wanna bite, yeah. I just wanna have a good night. I just wanna have a good night. If you don't know, now you know. If you broke, then you gotta let him go. You could have anybody, any money, no. Cause when you a boss, you could do what you want. Yeah, cause girls is players too. Yeah, yeah, cause girls is players too. Yeah, cause girls is players too. Yeah, yeah, cause girls is players too. Hold up. Yeah, cause girls is players too. Keep it playing, baby. On and on again. He blowing on my phone, but I'm ignoring him. He thinking he the one, I got like 4 of him. Yeah, I'm sitting first class like bad Victorian. Came a long way from rag to riches. 5-star bitch, yeah, I taste so delicious. Let him lick the plate, yeah, I make him do the dishes. Now he on news 12 cause a bitch we're missing. About to catch another flight, yeah. The apple bottom make him wanna bite, yeah. I just wanna have a good night. I just wanna have a good night. If you don't know, now you know. If you broke, then you gotta let him go. You could have anybody, any money, no. Cause when you a boss, you could do what you want. Keep it playing, baby. Yeah, cause girls is players too. Yeah, yeah, cause girls is players too. Keep it playing, baby. Yeah, cause girls is players too. Yeah, yeah, cause girls is players too. Hold up. Yeah, cause girls is players too. Keep it playing, baby.
say we're crazy, but it's not crazy to stay with me. Most people want love, but when it gets rough, they throw it all away. Most people want trust, but give it all up when they hit harder days. Most people want love, but when they get stuck, they let it go to waste. No, we ain't letting go, 'cause we ain't most people. 'Cause we ain't most people. Maybe it's stormy out here, but it's making us stronger. Only need to hold on to these hands. Yeah. When we run with the wild, we're enduring the thunder, and we grow out the heavy rain. Now I ain't saying that this is easy. Nothing good ever comes for free, and most people will say we're crazy, but it's not crazy to stay with me. Most people want love, but when it gets rough, they throw it all away. Most people want trust, but give it all up when they hit harder days. Most people want love, but when they get stuck, they let it go to waste. No, we ain't letting go, 'cause we ain't most people. 'Cause we ain't most people. Yeah.
Bring that ass back like a boom, 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 boom. Bring that ass back like a boom, 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 boom.
feel it for the first time. I feel it for the first time. I found a new place here. I'm coming down fast. I found a new place here. I'm coming down fast.
Just for one night, let the stars decide where we belong. Maybe heaven right now is a devil or angel away. That won't change. Together we vow that our colors will sparkle the fame. And I will find you. I will find you. I will reach you. I will lose my mind. Lose my mind. Lose my mind. Lose my lose my mind. Lose my mind. Maybe heaven right now is a devil or angel away. That won't change. Together we vow that our colors will sparkle the fame. And I will find you. I will find you. I will reach you. I will lose my
You're tuned in with Coffee and Candy.